Brazil's Pantanal, the largest tropical wetland in the world, is under serious threat with fires approaching the region's main highway. The fires are nearly 5 times higher than the same period a year ago, and Brazil's National Space Research Agency has registered over 3,100 fires in the first 15 days of August. It's got the Environment Minister Ricardo Salles racing against the clock.
It's a hot environment, very dry, strong winds and high temperatures. We found several combustion points along the way, places where planes and brigades are helping to extinguish the fires.
He said about 3,000 people were hired to try and put out the flames that have already raised about 6% of the Pantanal
mass protests. Protesters have been calling for Keita to resign, blaming him for corruption and worsening security in the north and center of the West African country where Islamist militants are active. Keita's address came shortly after mutinying soldiers seized him and several other top officials, detaining them at the Kati military base outside the capital Bamako earlier on Tuesday. It was not immediately clear who was leading the revolt, who would govern in Keita's absence, or what the mutineers wanted. But hundreds of anti-government protesters poured into a central square in Bamako to celebrate Keita's rumored detention. International reaction to the news has been swift. France and other international powers, as well as the African Union.
Honorable leaders of Europe, for the second week in a row, my nation is fighting peacefully for its constitutional right to elect its leaders. The August 9th elections were neither fair nor transparent. The results were falsified. People who went out to defend their vote in the streets of their cities all across Belarus were brutally beaten, imprisoned, and tortured by the regime desperately clinging onto power. Hundreds were injured. At least 2 people lost their lives.
8월 19일 0시 기준 국내 발생 신규 확진 환자는 283명입니다. 서울 150명, 경기 94명, 인천 8명 등 수도권의 신규 환자는 모두 252명으로 대부분의 환자, 89%의 이 환자는 수도권에서 발생하고 있습니다. 이 가운데 사랑제일교회 관련 확진자가 140여 명으로 과반을 차지하고 있으며 이외에도 이와 연관된 교회와 직장 등 수도권과 다른 지역 여러 곳에서 감염이
It's critical that countries don't repeat the same mistakes. We need to prevent vaccine nationalism. And for this reason, WHO is working with governments and the private sector to both accelerate the science through the ACT Accelerator and ensure that new innovations are available to everyone, everywhere, starting with those at highest risk.
The government will be deploying around 500 extra defence.
seguida, foram até Poconé para realizar um sobrevoo na região atingida por incêndios no Pantanal. A visita do ministro em Mato Grosso tem o intuito de verificar as ações da
Não consegui fazer para reconstruir tudo que danificou até agora.
It's critical that countries don't repeat the same mistakes. We need to prevent vaccine nationalism. And for this reason, WHO is working with governments and the private sector to both accelerate the science through the ACT Accelerator and ensure that new innovations are available to everyone, everywhere, starting with those at highest risk.
分離した船体のうち船首部分につきましては、
So we have all of our samples and then we have controls in place. So the red spikes are essentially like
We're here today to announce that we've signed a letter of intent with AstraZeneca, which will enable to Australia to access, should it be successful, the vaccine for COVID-19 here in Australia, manufactured here in Australia, distributed free to 25 million Australians in the event that those trials prove successful. There are around 160 different vaccine.
泥沙山石将当地的白水江阻塞，导致上游水位上升300多间民房被淹。事发地涉及11个村的集中安置点，由于通讯受阻等原因，被困人数一直无法确定。到了今天的凌晨1点左右，所有的被困人员都取得了联系，确定有48人受困。昨晚
研判和观察，因为到目前为止，前往这个石碣坝村的道路还是在这个堵塞中。目前当地的相关部门也在抢通。那直升机呢在现场进行观察以后，昨天晚上定的方案是，如果在救援上存在问题的话，那可能还可以起到一些空投一些生活物资线保证。